I hope the day of your memorial is one of those bittersweet New England fall days I remember from when we were growing up. Leaves flaming and drifting and thick under the trees, and the sky china blue in the cool air, and that amber light. The kind of day where anything seems possible, yet also a sadness nipping at your heels. Because it cannot last. Sense. To me, your spirit dwells in the rare, ephemeral beauty of such a day. I knew you were extraordinary the minute I met you almost 15 years ago.
50.
So
50.
50 years ago. You were already a philosopher. I remember listening to you in the school cafeteria. You explained the theory of possession and loss while a bevy of football players and cheerleaders socialized next to us. We drank terrible coffee. I didn't drink coffee yet, but I
Pretended.
Oh, I pretended to.
Read much?
No. The words here are...
Quite possible there's typos. I did it hurriedly.
We talked about what was important to us. I told you about my problem boyfriend and my love of reading. You were madly in love with Amy Campbell, wildly into Jimi Hendrix, and my God, did you love your family. I got to know Mark, Scott, and Bronwyn before I ever met them through your many stories. I had no idea that we would communicate through our lives and that your friendship would be such a blessing to me. I remember as young mother in Mexico walking back from the mailbox at the end of the dirt road, tearing open a letter from you. I was very lonely at the time, and just seeing your handwriting felt like a blessing. You wrote you'd met a beautiful woman, Janice. Right then and there, I knew that you were going to marry her. Your joy leapt out from the pages. We didn't see each other often in years because we were too geographically distant, but we mainly kept in touch. You were always a loyal friend who could be trusted completely, steadfast, which you told me once was your name. I could think out loud with you. I remembered your pride when Adam and Rachel were born, which would increase through the years. Your sorrow when Janice died. Your joy when Oliver and Percy were born. Your heroic fight at the end. You were always a fighter for the unity. You unify your sanitizer, uplift anyone such in webs of despair. You were a source of great hope. I remember once in high school, you rode your bike to school in the snow. You were very pleased with yourself, and I was impressed you were impervious to the cold. Shortly after you passed, I dreamed we were back outside of the school again, back in time. You looked just as you had then. I was amazed at how young you looked. Red-cheeked, no gloves, ice on the handlebars, beaming. I said something like, "This can't be real. We are old now." You said, "It's okay, Margaret. Don't worry." Then some other words I can't remember, but your being was infused with light. I woke up knowing you had transcended time and space and were as close to God as you always wanted to be, and that your spirit will always be close to your loved ones as well. Goodbye, Evan. Goodbye, Evan. David Burns, I will love you forever. Margaret Helen Munoz.